Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I asked what this conversation would be. And what I heard is major ascension cycles have begun. Lots of stuff going on in the world, a lot of shifting energy, a lot. A lot is happening. And what we need to be aware of is the way ascension cycles are going to affect us. For many of us, we really have no idea when we're in a cycle, when we're not. What part of our struggles are just a normal, natural occurrence because of the ascension cycle we're in. And, I'm hoping that this conversation is going to be something that's going to very powerfully help you navigate this part of your journey. So let's start with what soul wants us to know. Okay. All right. I mean, those are good cards. Okay. So a lot of things that are happening, right? First and foremost, you're being reassured that your home is secure. Your family is safe. The people you love are safe. There might be some heightened awareness that you're experiencing. Typically, when someone goes through an ascension cycle, their awareness of all of the things going on around them are going to increase, right? Your sensitivity is going to increase, and you're probably going to feel like you're kind of going crazy. You're probably going to feel as though you're just being overly sensitive. Your emotions are excessively raw. You don't know why you're feeling this way. Just, a whole bunch of, I guess you could say, unknowns, feeling very confused, right? Very just, what's happening with my life? You're going to be okay. I promise you're going to be okay. There's something that's being brought home to you. And whatever this thing is that's being brought home to you, it's something that you've waited for a very long time. It's maybe an opportunity, maybe a type of clarity, a redirection, something. It's something you have been working so hard to accomplish. If it's an understanding, something's wrong. Something's very wrong. That's a weird thing to say. I'm sorry. It's a very distinct feeling that's suddenly just making itself very much known. Something is wrong. I don't believe it's a personal thing. I don't believe this is like a personal thing for me that I'm picking up on. Something is very seriously askew in the world. Is there some type of current event that just occurred? It would probably be like a international or something. It feels global. It feels something like worldwide. I don't know what. Something is seriously shifting, and this massive shift, it's going to create some type of cascade event. What does that even mean? Hold on. Cascade event. Cascade event. A series of events that occur as a result of an initial event. Oh, no, please. We like peace. and can lead to a chain of consequences that are more severe than if the events had occurred separately. Ah, the calm before the storm has just burst. The calm before the storm has just burst. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that plays out. If I'm gonna be really just like upfront, I don't want to know. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to know. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna affect people, and I honestly don't want to know. So let's see. All right. So these are some types of events, and they give examples. At the very top is social, a war, recession, or environmental disaster. The next type of event is individual, an illness, divorce, addiction, imprisonment, or mental health crisis. Next is a natural event, earthquake, landslide, tsunami, or volcanic eruption. So if this was like a bingo card, I think we're like almost to bingo. I mean, we've even had a volcanic eruption in the Philippines. So, technological, a nuclear reactor failure. Oh, Lord. Human made, a terror attack or fire. Cascading can be complex and multidimensional and can evolve over time. The impact of one disaster can continue to advance beyond the location of impact. Okay, so I just wanted to go like Christmas shopping for my nieces and nephews today. I didn't want to deal with like catastrophic bingo today. Um, something was definitely unleashed. Something is wrong in the world right now. I don't know what. And like I said, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't. I don't want to know about things I can't change, things that I'm not authorized to interfere with the progression of in order to create a more holistic outcome. So, whatever this is, file it away in the back of your head. Life will continue forward. Everything that life has taught me is that no matter how bad things get, life finds a way to continue forward. It just continues. And it's not that I have a lack of fear because I'm so brave and I'm badass and it's that life has shown me for the entire duration of my life that no matter how bad things get, it will continue forward. It will just continue. I've been feeling that all morning, Blissful. A sense of having been overly caffeinated, except I don't take caffeine. I literally only drink water. So I'm not sure what that's about, but mm, let's just move forward. There's guidance that's going to be offered to you. I don't know that it's a specific person that's going to be helping to guide you. It feels more like just as a cascading event is one event after another event after another event, this guidance is going to be a type of positive cascade, but it can only be positive if that's how you charge it, if that's what you task it to be. So you can be given guidance and you can begrudge that guidance. You can drag your feet, you can you can fight it. You can do all the different things that you think the guidance is trying to tell you to do. Or you could just receive the guidance with an open mind and allow life to show you exactly how that's supposed to be implemented. That's what you could do. That's what I would do. When life tells me or shows me that there's going to be shifts and adjustments, I say, okay. I used to rush to try and implement everything. And, I was operating from such a space of fear where it was this thing of, oh my gosh, something bad's going to happen. So I have to do this and I have to do that. And I have to make sure, super frantic. Right. And now I'm just like, okay, I assume that when this needs to be done, it will be done. And that's that. That's that. Okay. Gotcha, soul. Gotcha. We'll make sure that when the time is right to apply what you've just said, we will apply that. Okay. Um so grounding in reverse. Um, there's going to be some energetic bursts, frequency accretion of the highest degree. And this frequency accretion is going to be something that's going to make people feel very ungrounded. Emotions, parasitic attempts, a lot of supercharged feelings that are not really anchored in anything tangible, anything real. You got to be careful about allowing your feelings to get wildly out of control, about allowing yourself to be triggered with um zero attempt to like help navigate through that. I don't know if that makes sense. If you allow things to just wild out, then it will go real freaking wild. It will go real wild. Did you guys notice I do a fire ceremony for every portal date, except I didn't do one this month? What if I told you guys before? If I'm not live, something is wrong or something is happening. Sometimes it's just a matter of me having caught a cold. Yeah, right. It's not a cold. Sometimes I'm perfectly fine, except my soul has warned me, hey, X, Y, and Z, be careful. Don't allow yourself to be visible today. So I will let your imagination take you where you need to go. Why did I not do a fire ceremony yesterday? Why? There's something unhinged. There is something, an energy, I don't know what, is very unhinged. And I'm just like, I'm fucking good. I'm good. I listen to you, soul. You don't want me live? That's fine. That's fine with me. I'm good. I'm good with that. Okay. So you need to be mindful of where your emotions are taking you. I have been noticing that a lot of the last few days have been supercharged with emotion for no reason. None. No reason at all. I found myself asking my husband the other day, "Are you sad?" He's like, "No." No. And I was like, "Yeah, me neither, but I feel sad. I feel very sad. I feel a sadness. It's an intense sadness. I know it is, but they're sad. Whoever it is, they're sad. I don't know if it's a collective. I don't know if it's a specific person. And I kind of feel like if I was intended to know who it is, I wouldn't be wondering who it is. This is about flowing with what you're experiencing while also making sure that you are making conscious decisions, selecting options consciously, intentionally. Okay. There's something that's being hidden, secret. There's something that's very much being hidden. And whatever it is that's being obscured, I think it's being obscured from all of us. I think most people are not realizing what's happening. And now the energy is shifting. It's a shifting, I don't know if you guys can feel it in your ears, but there's some type of broadcast. I am debating if it is a technological broadcast, meaning all social media platforms are being utilized to project this subsonic frequency. You can't hear it. It's not like a high frequency. There's no high pitched ringing in my ear. I can feel it. It's a reverberation that's like, it's a subsonic type of frequency. So my guess is either All of our devices are being used, especially if you updated that OS. I never update my shit. It drives me wild when my husband, something's wrong with my phone. My husband will be like, "Did you update it? Don't fucking ask me that. You know I didn't." You know I didn't. I don't update shit. I don't update shit. Okay. Relax, girl. Relax. So either our handheld devices are being utilized to broadcast some type of subsonic frequency without our awareness or consent, or, and these are just, speculative statements, or something is being broadcast through that 1212 portal. I've been feeling really sick all day. Just like nauseous. Just sick. I'm just sick of this shit. I am. I'm sick of this shit. There's something going on. And I think whatever that something is that's going on, it's intended to be malignant, but it's serving most people in an unrecognized beneficial manner. It's pushing along your ascension mechanics. It's pushing it along. That's good. That's good. I mean, it sucks. The symptoms that you might experience are not the most pleasant when this type of thing is being forced upon you, but it still ends good. It still ends good. You need to make sure that you allow yourself to experience and even consciously choose to create the alchemical change. It's like a shaking that's happening now. There's a shaking. It's a vibration. I'm feeling it in the lower octaves, around the first and second chakras. So I would say I'm feeling it rise intermittently up to like your L4, L3, your lower lumbar. And then also extending down into the pelvic floor. This is an attempt to destabilize. If you don't give it permission, it won't be successful. This is an attempt to destabilize. So root and sacral chakra, we're talking about fear of not being able to survive. We're talking about fears pertaining to your in real life needs, right? We're talking about our most intimate connections, family, loved ones, our closest friends, relationships, those type of things. Those are the things that are being heavily focused on as a way to crash your standing scalar wave frequency. Mm. Mm-hmm. A lot going on. Uh-huh. Okay. So some of the lessons that are going to be associated with this massive ascension cycle that's being initiated has to do with an upside down perception of what unconditional love is. Unconditional love has nothing to do with enablement of extremely toxic behaviors. You can unconditionally love someone while enforcing boundaries. Some people, and I'm about to be abrasive AF, some people who think they're really smart are like, well, unconditional love has no boundaries. Okay, maybe for you, but I'm not a fucking enabler at this point. My unconditional love has abso-fucking-lute boundaries. If you are not going to operate within the boundaries of what is healthy and safe for me, I love you from afar silently. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't do that toxic shit over here. We don't do that toxic enablement. We don't do that martyrdom shit over here. We just don't. We don't. So that unconditional love has to first and foremost be applied to self. First and foremost, you must unconditionally love yourself. When your basic needs have been met, then you can begin thinking about considering meeting the basic needs of other people. We need to step out of the cycles that have kept us locked in a position that make us accessible to the most toxic people in our lives. Okay? Y'all can do whatever you like. You can. But just know when you allow those types of things, those type of cycles to continue, because what? You need to prove your loyalty to someone. You need to this, you need to that. Oh, they don't have anybody. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I found that when I enter into those mindsets that really enable people's maltreatment of me, I'm not helping or loving them in any way, shape, or form. I'm operating from a space of fear and ego. Mhm. How much do you have to love someone to be able to tell them the truth about how negatively their behaviors are impacting you? One of the things that I learned about myself, and it took me a very long time to learn this, is that if I deeply care about you, I will tell you the most difficult things to tell you, the things that other people don't want to tell you because they don't want to look bad. They don't want you to think badly of them. They this, they that. It's their needs before yours. But I will tell you. However, if I don't care that deeply, I have some basic care for everyone, including complete strangers. This is just a basic care, a basic level of respect. Anything beyond that for complete strangers, I tell myself, okay, shut your mouth, girl. They didn't ask. They didn't ask. They didn't want to know. They didn't ask. Like, I've come across so many people, so much circumstance that I know based on my career, my profession, my specialty. I know you had a parasitic circumstance. Will I say anything? No. Why? Because you didn't ask me. It's not my place to try and dictate to you what happens in your life. Now, it's a whole nother thing. You pay for a scan, or we're already engaged in a conversation, and this is something that you ask me, and your soul is letting me know, like, I need to tell you. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. If your circumstance is grievously affecting me, I will also let you know. Like, hey, I don't know if you know this, you got a parasitic circumstance it's trying to attack me. So I have to kind of back up. You know, I can't allow that. I can't allow that. Right. And it always tells me a lot when that type of conversation takes place, whether it's intentional or something that just kind of unfolds. It always tells me a lot if, um, for example, once a person finds out, and maybe the most common thing is the person already was suspecting that something was off, right? They're already suspecting something. Um, and then it is kind of just like left as that. Okay, well, leave it like that. That's fine, but I'm good. I can't get breached. I can allow myself to get breached. I have to work. I have to work. If you're not gonna be asking, like, what should I do? I assume you're fine with it. But I will still steer clear. Absolutely. I will steer clear. Your ascension mechanics requires your involvement, your conscious involvement in the process you're in. If you are going to play this role of Captain Save a Horita, you will get breached. If I look at my journey, my publicly visible journey, when have I had publicly visible issues? When someone enters into full demon horita state and they lose their access to me, they lose access to the community, they lose access to my work, and then suddenly, oh, they wild the fuck out. Why? Because they wanted to use me as a method to infect everyone. I don't fucking care what you want. You're not going to have access to me or my space. Now, if there are people who want to communicate with you privately, you go right ahead. But I tell you, I will not allow that shit in my space. Why? Because I'm fucking responsible. I'm responsible for my space and the space that I share publicly. What is the thing I'm criticized for the most? Oh, she cuts people out. Yeah, because you're a fucking demon horita at this point. That's why. And I have no qualms saying that. No qualms at all. Like, you want to bring that shit public? You want me to address it public? Bring it public. I'll fucking talk about it public. No problem. If I'm going to go through an ascension cycle, I'm going to prioritize what needs to be done for me on a personal level as I'm in that ascension cycle. Allowing yourself to remain accessible to things that you've already identified as parasitic in nature for you is not going to make you look like a good person. That's a surefire way to get infected. There's a caca energy going around right now. It's very much a caca energy. You know, I was talking to my one of my kids last night. My kids are powerful. My kids are ridiculously fucking powerful. So I hear one of my kids playing a video game, and then I hear some other sounds. I'm like, hey, what's going on down there? It's about bedtime, right? And I was like, okay, bedtime. Something's going on. I feel a shifting in energy. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like what this energy is feeling like. So then my kid comes upstairs. You can tell they're upset. About what? I'm not sure. But that's not the time to start poking and prodding like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? No. Give them a moment. My kids are very good at communicating their needs. You give him a moment, let him simmer down, let him process whatever he needs to process. It will come to me. So then a short while later, my kid does come to me and is like, is something trying to breach me? And I'm like, well, why do you ask that? And they recognize they suddenly got really mad out of nowhere for no reason. That's an awareness of self. That's an important thing to develop, an awareness of self. And I was like, well, I felt something was off. I definitely felt like something was off. It didn't feel like you. And I think the most powerful thing that we can do for our children is to not enable their sense of fear and disempowerment. So he asked me to scan. And I confirmed, yes, something is absolutely trying to access. And they were aware that it might have been through the video game they were playing. It's just a regular old video game. And he was like, but I wasn't even talking to anyone on the video game. And I said, someone who was playing the same time you were playing is being used as a Trojan. They're being used to affect anyone who can be accessed through electrotonal waves, eyes and ears, through the eyes and the ears. And it made sense for my kid. And so I told my kid, okay, what I want you to do, go lay in bed for a moment, do this specific energetic process, and then we'll assess. And they did it. They fought that off. They defended their space. And I felt them do it. I watched as they did it. And then we talked about it later. And it was this question of, how do you feel? Much better. Did you push it out? I think so. It stopped. Good. Good. So, part of what needs to happen during this ascension cycle is we need to recognize when we're being invited to involve ourselves in something that we should not be as deeply involved in as we would like to be. As a parent, I could have went just ham over that. I could have. But I reminded myself, hey, something is clearly observing. It wants to know if this is one of my children it can use to try and access me. And if that's the case and I wild out, they just found which one of my kids they're going to try and torment. So instead, I reminded myself, your kids are little fucking badasses. They come from you. Your husband's a badass. They are little fucking badasses. And if you need some help, I will absolutely help. Let him try it first. Let him own his space. Let him own his sovereignty. Let him command his fucking energy. And he did. He did. He cleared it himself. He's perfectly fine. Now, if that parasitic thing wants to try him again, he knows he can clear it himself, first and foremost. Secondly, he got a little temper on him. He gonna fuck shit up. He's not even gonna have to be like, I don't know what's happening. He's gonna be like, oh, you trying again? Okay. And I'm all for it. Absolutely. I'm all for that. And I gave him a little tip. Hey, I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna try again. So maybe for the next few days, stay off that specific video game. Pick a different game to play. It's not a big deal. Pick a different game. No biggie. And if you start to feel that again, you know what you're feeling. You know what you're picking up on, and you know what you need to do. This period of ascension mechanics, it's a lot of energy coming through. A lot of energy coming through. And most people don't yet have the degree of awareness of self to know exactly what the sensations, emotions, and thoughts, are indicating about their process. Most people don't know. That's okay. You're learning. That's why you're going through this. You're learning. There was someone who had commented something about the other side of the sun. They're harvesting energy. The sun is an energetic repository for excess consciousness that cannot be housed safely in the physicality of flesh. They are harvesting. Do you know what that means? They are forcing an ascension cycle. So you will surge even more energy in order to ripen the harvest faster. This can work in your favor. Do you understand how much trauma you have to experience to be able to surge to the degree that you're being forced to surge? Between now and a few days from now, you're going to be experiencing that. This subsonic frequency is calibrated to access your retrorural fields. That is a portion of your brain that is responsible for detecting a threat. That's why at the very beginning of this conversation, the first card, security, you and your loved ones are safe. It won't feel like it though. It won't feel like it. You will begin to feel this thing of like, something's happening. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Something's happening. People I love, I need to check on them. I'm getting frantic. I'm starting to panic. I don't know why. Am I going crazy? Breathe. Pause and breathe. It is very simple. Pause and breathe. Are you picking up on something in actuality? Or are you increasing in your abilities unknowingly and therefore now becoming very sensitized to the attempts to create hysteria within you? That subsonic frequency is alternating between specific frequency bandings. What does that mean? That means they're hitting your retrorubral fields, which detects threats, and then your amygdala, which can either be hypostimulated, meaning it makes you much more passive, or hyperstimulated, which means you're about to get real fucking aggressive. Either one, you need to breathe. You need to pause and you need to say, okay, wait, what's really happening right now? I don't think these are really my emotions. I don't see or feel anything that's tangible that tells me there is true harm, that I am at true risk of harm. So, what is actually happening? And asking these questions are going to open the door for you to be able to begin getting the answers and the awareness that you clearly are needing if you're asking these questions. Don't allow yourself to just be triggered. This ascension cycle, this mechanic is going to last for at least a week. At least a week. That's when it begins to taper off because they can no longer harness that portal. They're harvesting hardcore. You notice you're super tired as of late. You notice you're super inflamed as of late. Are you bloated? Do your joints kind of hurt? Are you feeling fatigue, muscle aches, muscle pain, a little bit more than you normally do? Has your sleep been very unproductive? Either you can't stay asleep, you can't fall asleep, or when you do sleep, you wake up still feeling exhausted. Are you having very odd dreams? Are you feeling very dissatisfied with life, with your career? You want to move, you want to change your circle of friends, you want to change your career, you want to do all these things that really don't make sense. Like, what is going on? Is this a midlife crisis? No, it's just an ascension cycle. It's just an ascension cycle. Just because it's just an ascension cycle does not mean it's not intense. For most people, it's going to get pretty intense. But if you can keep sight of the fact that this is merely a cycle, it will cycle in and then it will cycle out and life continues, then it won't be as internally destructive. It's okay for you to hold on to hope. That's okay. If you don't have enough trust in yourself right now, really all you have is hope. I hope I get through this. You will. You'll get through this. You've been through other cycles before, just not as intense as this. This is super intense because it's being forced. So I don't know if you guys are aware that natural labor, and I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's birth story, but this is factual. Natural labor, where your cervix naturally ripens and then it naturally begins to dilate and the contractions increase and all of that, it is a completely different process and a completely different experience than a labor and delivery that involves pitocin. Oh, trust me. One of my labors, they put me on pitocin, and that helps to ripen your cervix. It's an intravenous medication oftentimes given to mothers whose labor has stalled. Sometimes it's because your labor stalls. Sometimes it's because they're trying to rush you to give birth. They want that bed for the next client. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Medical complex, I see you. So they gave me pitocin, and medical professionals need to learn in some way. So sometimes after they're done with their schooling, they'll be in a learning hospital, or they'll go through training and they'll have someone that, kind of like takes them and mentors them. So that's not something that's avoidable. That's just a natural part of becoming a medical professional. Well, for one of my labors, I was with someone who was in the process of being trained. Now, the nurse that was training this new nurse, they, I believe, told her to taper down the Pitocin after a certain whatever, I don't know, a certain time or a certain level of contractions have been reached. She forgot to. She was supposed to titrate my Pitocin, but she didn't. She left it wide open. My placenta tore in half. It was such a violent birth. My baby basically shot out. You know, it is what it is. Except about 30 minutes after I had given birth and had already delivered the placenta, it was still bleeding profusely. Within about 30, 40 minutes, I was in a puddle of my own blood from my ankles to my shoulders. I almost died. Literally almost died. I had to have emergency surgery. Yeah. I mean, I guess sometimes Pitocin is necessary, but most times it's so unnecessary. It's such a violent act when unnecessary. What's happening right now is you're being given a megadose of Pitocin. It's forcing your labor and delivery. It's forcing it. It took me having several children to begin to understand I need to trust my body. I need to trust my body. I need to support my body. I need to support myself through my process. What does that mean? Learning for myself, how to advocate for myself. Right? My final delivery, the doctor threatened me with a bag of Pitocin. He slammed it, literally slammed it like a fucking tantrum, slammed it on the medical tray beside my bed. He said I was stalled. My labor was stuck. Sir, I barely arrived at 5 a.m. It's not even noon yet. What the fuck do you mean? Support me in my process. Don't force your will upon me. He slammed that bag of Pitocin on the table and said, I'm the doctor. I'm giving you 30 minutes before I put you on a drip. And I looked at him like, you want to fucking bet? How do I know more than you? You went to school for this. Strip my membranes. You don't know how to do that? You never heard of that? Aren't you the medical professional? Oh, and if you're going to threaten me, I get real antagonistic. I instructed him to strip my membranes, which he did, and then he threatened me with a Pitocin. That's fine. Fuck out of my room. They couldn't find him. This was the labor where the nurses were like, don't push, mama. We don't know where the doctor is. No. Go between my legs. Just catch the baby. It's okay. We don't need him. That's why I said that. We don't need him. I delivered within 30 minutes or so. They didn't need to give me Pitocin. We don't need to experience this unnatural ripening of our spiritual journey and awareness. Yet here we are. So it's already initiated. You're going to have to just move through it. You're going to have to move through it. When things have already been initiated, even if it's without your consent, there is no point in fighting about, why did you do that? Why did you do that? It's already done. All you can do now is make do with the circumstance and options you're being presented as potentialities for you. So flow with it, okay? You don't have to believe in your capacity to be able to do this. I promise you, you have the capacity to get through this process. Part of how you're going to get through this is through your shadow. It's through your shadow. You have to face yourself. The most powerful parts of you are hidden in your shadow. You know why I no longer consider myself spiritual, and I haven't for a very long time. These spiritual communities want to try and excommunicate me. I'm not part of your fucking community. How are you going to excommunicate someone who don't want fucking nothing to do with you anyways? Oh, good. So now we're in agreement. Perfect. That's how I see it, right? Part of the reason I'm no longer and haven't been part of spiritual communities for so long is because of this running narrative that shadow is evil, darkness is bad. You know, the most wicked people I've ever come across are people who have gone out of their way to appear as though they are from love and light, that everything they do, all this malignant, malicious, toxic shit they do to others is because, oh, they love their community. They're trying to protect you. No, the fuck they're not. No, the fuck they're not. They're the first ones to accuse others of the very thing they're doing. Why do they want you afraid of shadow? Because that's where all your power is hidden. That is where all of your power is hidden. Why? As part of the grand design, what our terrestrial forefathers, forebears had was a survival instinct. Part of that survival instinct, because they had neither fang nor claw to defend themselves. Fear of the dark. Why? Because demons? No, stop being funny. It's not because of demons. They had a fear of the dark because if you can't see what's going to attack you, what is stalking you, hunting you actively, your chances of survival are diminished tremendously. And so they had a very healthy fear of the dark. It's for survival. Had nothing to do with demonics. And so those who designed us, they spliced us with a terrestrial species, combined it with corrupted Melchizedek code. They left that portion active. You see, they couldn't take from us what was naturally gifted to us by Creator. What is that gift? An unstoppable ascension mechanic. You can't stop ascension once it's initiated. You cannot stop it. I can't stop it. No one can stop it. If someone's going to tell you they can stop it, they can undo it, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. That's why a lot of these people, they don't like me, because I call them out on their fucking lies. They're lying to you. They have no authority over you in that manner. I know I don't. I know I don't want to either. Once ascension is initiated, it has to run its course. It cannot be undone either. It cannot be undone. So to further delay our return to a level of awareness that makes us extremely uncontrollable, those who want to control us cannot control us once we reach a certain level of awareness. What they decided to do was to go ahead and partition most of your abilities in that shadow portion of your morphogenetic template. That's a portion of your template that you're largely unaware of. And until you reach a level of maturity, you will not want to access that. You will be afraid. You notice you're afraid of less things the older you get. Because as you get older, theoretically, you mature, right? Same thing. That's why they put all of your most powerful abilities there, deeply hidden in your shadow, not to keep you from it, but to prevent unauthorized access before you've developed the level of maturity needed to be able to responsibly wield those abilities. Thankfully for many of us, we have mirrored souls. These are people who are mirrors of our greatest aspects. They are mirrors of the parts of you that you're afraid to acknowledge, these beautiful, powerful portions of you and your potentiality that you're choosing to believe it doesn't exist. Whatever beautiful, beautiful, complementary things you think about me, the parts of me and my character that you're drawn to, I promise you, you're drawn to it because you unknowingly recognize it as a mirror, a reflection of an aspect of you that you're not quite yet ready to allow yourself to embrace and bring back into the fold. It's already a part of you. You think that it's a beautiful thing, the way my heart works, how loving I can be, how compassionate, how empowering and protective. You're the same way. That's why you're drawn to it. You're the same way. We're mirrors of each other. We're not the exact same person, but we're mirroring each other. That's why you're drawn to it. So now you're being tasked to start a whole new chapter, to be aware that a chapter is being initiated for you. Whatever this chapter is, it's going to bring you that much closer to the reality of what you're here to do. And what is it that you're here to do? I don't know. But I get the feeling that you're about to find out. I get the feeling that you're about to come to a point of realization. You're ready, but you're waiting. You're waiting for confirmation. You're waiting for instruction from soul. You're waiting for something. I don't know what. It'll be okay. As of right now, you don't feel very bright. You feel very much dimmed. Maybe you recently went through something that has caused you to question your worth, caused you to question your capacity, your capability. That's all part of the process. No, but Emmy, I messed up. Did you? Sometimes you have to experience the opposing polarity in order to gain a very clarified understanding of the other side, the side that you actually want to be on. So, an example of this, I would have never known how ridiculously potent I am as a parasitic extractor had I not been exposed to such a prolonged period of demonic harassment, parasitic attack. Because I'm aware of that extreme polarity of parasitic attempts to access my field, parasitic attempts to harm me, just all kind of craziness. Oh my God, my life been crazy. I would not have an awareness of myself to the degree that I have right now. Yeah. People have asked me over the years, how did you get to such a space of awareness? Like, you're so self-aware. Like, it's crazy how aware you are. Oh, because there was nonstop drama after drama after drama. Nothing I ever really initiated or instigated, but I sure as hell had to live through that. Everything that I went through was something that further refined my understanding of myself and my capability, right? You need to take the time at this point to really allow yourself to come to that space of awareness. You are not failing. And you're going to be like, oh, but there's so much friction in my life. Friction is evidence of movement, it's evidence of flow. It's proof that you are expanding and growing and pushing beyond the current boundaries you've lived within. That friction is not a bad thing. It's evidence of you being in a process. You have to be consistent for yourself. You have to consistently be connected between the self and the soul. You need to allow your intuition to guide you, and you need to use your logic to receive and interpret that intuitive guidance. You can't be all or nothing. You can't just be all intuition. You can't just be all logic. It has to be balanced between the two. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I'm hungry. Something's going to try and blindside you. Every journey starts with a single step. So, as of right now, this major ascension cycle is something where it's like you've had to just take off running. That's okay. You can slow it down if you want. Just slow it down a little bit. Not to a complete halt, but just kind of slow it down a little bit, right? Spirals of manifestation, but it's in reverse. Everything that's happening, you're not initiating it. It's kind of, I think for most people, it's feeling like it's happening to you, like something is happening to you rather than for you. And that's a difficult process to come to terms with, because most people will feel it's very unfair. I get it. I can see why it could feel unfair, but it's something you need to just get through. You need to get through it already. Not rush, but get through it already. Stop snagging yourself on every little emotion that pops up as you come to an even more deepened awareness of what's happening and being done. Bring it into form, but it's in reverse. This is not something you're consciously intending to do. This is something that's being done on your behalf. Your soul is trying to make this happen for you. Inner trust. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your process. You have to allow yourself to get to a point where you just kind of accept that you're not going to understand it as you go through it, but afterwards, there's a high probability that it will make sense after. Get through it first, right? I think what gets most people really caught up is when we try and insist on having a full understanding of a process we're in before we can actually allow ourselves to continue with the process. That's a surefire way to prolong the struggle, just so you know. I'm not going to say it's a wrong thing to do. I will say it will prolong your struggle. It will most often further distort the way you see what you're going through. And then, most importantly, it will elevate and escalate. And in that elevation and escalation of how you see this, how you feel towards it, and it's usually a negative thing, the potentiality for learning becomes exponentially expounded. Your soul begins to have the opportunity to really point things out. So it works in your benefit at the end, but it makes it a lot worse for you as you're going through it. Okay. Thank you for the reminder, Lindsay. 3 final cards. Release a dark wound, let love live, but it's in reverse. If you're going to hold on to the hurt of yesteryear, that gets real stinky real fast. And that really gives a wonderful medium for parasitic things to grow. Parasitic thoughts, parasitic process. So, just you gotta, okay. I don't know. It's like an analogy. Keeping a rotten fish in your house because I don't know why someone would do that. And then expecting that rotten fish to not suddenly have maggots, and now your house is infested with flies, like the biting kind. It's looking nasty. That's hella nasty. Throw that fish away. Ew. Put it in a bag so maggots can't get to it. Card number 23, defend to the end the worthwhile. And you got to protect yourself from your own sabotage. You do. We're so accustomed to sabotaging our own process and prolonging our pain. We have to stop doing that. We have to let ourselves know, like, it's okay for this to progress without me fully understanding right now. I know that when I'm ready, my soul will help me to develop that understanding of why this happened. I promise you that's possible. It's possible. Okay. Some of the most profound live streams where you see me processing my life and something clicks, and then it's like this profound thing you're witnessing, like, holy shit, how does she come to this realization? I just did from an event that was like 5, 10, 15 years ago. You just watched it unfold. I wasn't ready to understand for 5, 10, 15 years. Stop rushing your process. You're worth the wait. She feels, she knows, is the final card. If you never allow yourself to feel, then you will never know. That's actually the key. That's the key to unlock your potential. That's the key to unlock and receive that awareness of your profound nature, true power, and authority over yourself. You got to let yourself feel in order for you to know. So I got to get going. Lindsay saved me. I'm hungry. Okay, so this weekend I'm going to be live doing aura paintings. If you would like your aura painted, there's different options available. Click on this QR code or the link in the comment, and that will show you exactly what I have available, as well as when the event is going to be broadcast. I'm most likely going to be live on TikTok. Also, I have my Quantum Potential event. This is a 2-day in-person event. If you would like to participate, I'll be teaching about frequency. I'll be teaching about whole being wellness, addressing your needs on a frequency level, from diet to exercise, holistic care of self. For those who don't know, I am a certified nutrition coach. I'm also a corrective exercise specialist. I'm a certified personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So I do have the certification to teach all of this amazingly powerful information. In addition to that, the second day I'll be teaching about soul-based business. That's a very powerful, powerful, powerful part. I'm giving you all the information that you need to completely unplug from the matrix and become fully independent, fully self-sustained, no longer needing to follow corporate rules of you need to this, you need to that, and making a corporation rich, rather than allowing all of your effort to be given right back to you in the form of financial abundance. And yes, I have successfully done these things for myself and my family. And I'm going to be sharing how you can do it for you and your family as well. A lot of people don't realize your soul-based business doesn't have to save the world. It just has to be something that's in alignment with what your purpose actually is. Not all of us are here to be captains. Most of us are here to simply exist and feel the full experience of life. Allow those abundance pathways to open. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Also, just so you guys know, I'm going to be doing activations for these events. Full-blown activations, abundance type activations. It's in the itinerary. I didn't post it publicly. Anyways, I gotta go. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I will see you guys again very, very soon.